that the default costumes play more into the lore. So like when you see Katana, and this is her new outfit. First of all, I don't know why you want people like Katana and Jade to be showing more flesh or have like the clothes they had on when they were in MK9 when they're dead. They're corpses. You want to see a naked corpse? Is that what you want to see? You weirdo, you necrophiliac weirdo dude. What? That's weird. That's weird. You want to see a naked corpse. That's why, first of all, her skin is all grayish and blue and she looks like that. She's dead. She's a corpse. This is her default outfit. Now, she's brought back to life, but she's still a zombie for the most part. Now, as you can see, her outfit has more armor, but that's the reason for that. They're at war in this game. She's not going to a Mortal Kombat tournament where she's basically fighting one-on-one and stuff. This is war. They are at war. So the cosmetics reflect the story, basically. These default outfits reflect the story. That's why a lot of these characters have more clothes on. And that's why their clothes look the way they do. That's why they look the way they do. It's related to the story. Another thing too, a lot of people gotta freaking understand too, is this game takes place like 25-30 years into the future. A lot of these people are older than they were when you first played them in Mortal Kombat 9. They're a lot older, they're a lot more mature, so of course their apparel is gonna represent that. That's why Sonya is dressed like this as opposed to how she was in Mortal Kombat 9, where she just had like the tank top and like the sweatpants or tight pants or whatever like that. Like she's like a 50-year-old woman at this point, so her clothes is gonna reflect her maturity. That's why. But just because, and I also need to say, just because they have more clothes on don't mean that they're any less sexier. You have a lot of these characters that do have more clothes on, but they're still sexy as hell. Like any one of y'all would dive to get with any of these chicks, honestly speaking. You would give up like a liver or a lung to get with any of these chicks if they were real. Just because they got on more clothes don't mean like they're not sexualized. Look at their shape, their physique, the breasts and the butt. It's a lot more realistic and a lot more voluptuous and insinuated. So yeah, you have that, and it's more realistic. It gives more of a realistic look to it. But and again, I need to specify that this is just the default costumes that's like that. Now I'm gonna get into it. Again, 25 years into the future, a lot of these people are a lot older, more mature, so on and so forth. If you think about it, the clothes you wore 25 years ago is a lot different from the clothes that you're wearing now. Not only that, the clothes you wore 2 years ago are probably a lot different from the clothes you wear now. 2 years ago, you were probably rocking like a t-shirt and a tank top. Whereas now you're probably rocking like a polo or a button up or something like that. So like even now you dress differently than you did 2 years ago. So is it really that hard to believe that in a 25-year span that their attire would have changed? Now some of you might mention that, what about their past self? This has something to do with time travel and they're meeting their younger selves. Well, those are where the default and that's where the alternate costumes come into play. And the ultimate costumes are a bit more sexualized, but then again, it still makes sense to the story that they have slightly more clothes on, because honestly speaking, in Mortal Kombat 9, they were overly sexualized. They were really overly sexualized to the point that they were more of a distraction when you fought against them than they are now. So, for example, you have Sonya Blade, and you have this regular costume that I already showed you, which makes sense because in this game she's like a general in the army and she's like a 50-year-old woman. But they do have callbacks to like her older costumes, her older outfits, like her Mk11 outfit, to where she had like just a shirt and just like the tights and stuff like that. So you can unlock these more sexualized designs where there's less clothing on them. You can unlock these if you wanted to play, but then again, they're not sitting there fighting you in a bra and panties either. You're not sitting here fighting Sonya Blade while she has like a bra and panties on, or a thong on with like a leotard or some silly shit like that nobody would ever fight in. Like, this is more logical. This is a more logical fighting attire, basically. But to say that they're not sexy, she still looks sexy as hell, even dressed like this. You're crazy. Just because a woman has more clothes on don't mean that they can't be or look sexy. That makes no sense. And again, the reason why their default attire is like this, where it's a lot more clothing, is because they're at war. 25 years later, Earthrealm is at war with Netherrealm, so of course you're not gonna wear a thong and a bra to go into war where people are using guns and airplanes and tanks and explosions and stuff like that. No, you're gonna go in some sort of tactical kind of gear, some sort of tactical kind of armor. So as you can see, the Earthrealmers, which are the special forces, they're all military people. They're dressed in more armor-based stuff. They're dressed in more armor-based stuff. Now, this is Cassie Cage, and yeah, she's the daughter of Sonya Blade, which is a more like hardcore general kind of thing. Now, Cassie is Cassie. She was raised under this like hardcore military environment, and that's basically what her mom, I believe, wanted her to be, as a general or something like that. But Cassie Cage, in the beginning of this story, she gets promoted to commander, so she's leading her army. So she's not gonna be out here fighting in like some shorts and a t-shirt or anything like that in the middle of a war. Nah, she's gonna be in something a lot more tactical, obviously. Now you do have, like, again, Jacqueline Briggs. Jacqueline Briggs, also a military girl. Her father didn't want her to be a military girl, though. That's the difference between Cassie and Jacqueline. Her pops didn't want her to be a military chick. But even still, she does have outfits that have a little bit less clothing. Granted, it's still tactical, but she does have more sexualized clothing as well. See? Now, there's nothing really tactical about this, but this is more of a call out to one of the endings. I believe this is like Jax's ending or something like that. So this is more of a call out for that. But yeah, look, she looks extremely sexy in this, even though she does have a decent amount of clothes. They did something different with her hair. I mean, they have more clothing on it, but you can see enough to give the illusion like, oh yeah, there's something there. You feel me? There's something there. But still, that looks good. That looks good. That looks good. And these are alternate costumes. You can unlock this if you want something that's a little bit more appealing to your eyes. So this whole SJW thing and the whole outcry about, oh, they gave them more clothing, yada yada yada, uproar, is a non-issue. Non-issue. Default costumes are like this for the simple fact that they're at war. Now you see Jade and Katana have these kind of outfits. They're both Edidians, so their war attire would more than likely be a lot different than like Jacqueline and Sonya Blade and Cassie Cage, because they're from a completely different realm. So this is more of the war attire for their particular people. But at the same time, if you want her in something a bit more sexualized, there are outfits that Katana have that are a bit more sexualized if you want it that way. Like, it's not too revealing. She's not fighting you in a bra and panties, but it's something a bit more revealing. So it's a non-issue. I don't even notice it, honestly speaking. Like, I literally had to go through and look at the outfits to see what the hell the outcry was about. It was like, well, I didn't even notice that shit. Like, and again, most of these people don't play the game, so they don't know the lore. They just see that there's more clothes on Jade and Katana and Jacqueline Briggs. Not even Jacqueline Briggs and Cassie Cage, because even the MKX, Cassie Cage and Jacqueline Briggs had a lot of clothes on. But Sonya Blade, I think the biggest one was like Scarlet. Scarlet has like a lot of clothes on in this one. But Scarlet does have design. Again, they're at war, so and they were just way over sexualized in Mortal Kombat 9. But Scarlet does have clothing that's a bit more revealing. So she has like stuff like this where it's a bit more revealing and you can see like more skin. Stuff like this where you can see more skin. You can actually take like the mask off of her as well too to reveal her face. I don't have that one. Oh, here it goes. where so you can see her face and stuff like that. So you have alternate costumes to kind of remedy. So if you want to fight with somebody that's a bit more sexualized, you can, but they're not going to be overtly sexualized to where they are literally a distraction or anything like that. So this SJW crap is a non-issue. It really is. It makes no sense. I mean, their argument is that the men still don't really have their shirts on and stuff like that, which, I mean, the men still have a decent amount of clothes on, honestly speaking. It's not like a lot of their stuff is showing. Like Kodokan, you can see he got like his chest out and stuff like that, but you can he still has like armor on. He's an Aztec. It fits his particular character that he wouldn't have a lot of clothes on. And you have like Kano, who just has like his jeans on, but he has that like plate over his chest now that kind of covers his chest up, and then he has like that chest here and stuff like that. You got like Baraka's actually pretty covered up. You can see a little bit more of his skin, but he's covered up for the most part. You have Johnny Cage, whereas in Mortal Kombat 9, Johnny Cage had his chest showing. His default costume in this is him with a shirt and vest on, so you can't even see the fact that his chest says Johnny on it. Same thing with Jax. Jax had his shirt off as well with like tights on and his armor. Now he has a t-shirt on with the dog chain and like a jacket on with the sleeves cut off because he got the metal arms on. So they've put more clothes on the male characters as well, whereas some of the other male characters are, yeah, they're still somewhat sexualized, but you still have females that are somewhat sexualized. Like for example, Cetrion is very sexualized. Like she's barely wearing anything. She's being covered up with like leaves and shit like that. Like she doesn't have like a lot of clothes on. Same with Devora. And Devora's disgusting. You want to see clothes on Devora, but Devora has outfits where she's literally naked. She has nothing on. But that fits Devora because she's a bug. She's not like really human. She's like a humanoid bug. But yeah, she has outfits where she has nothing on. It's gross to look at. But hey, if you want to see naked women, if you don't mind seeing naked corpses, which are like Katana and Jade, which are dead, if you want to see them in their thongs and panties with their disgusting corpse body, you probably don't have any issue seeing Devora naked ass, honestly speaking. So yes, there's still women in here that are still somewhat sexualized. Just like there are men in here that's somewhat sexualized with their chest on, but then there are also men that was sexualized at one point that are not sexualized anymore. For example, Liu Kang's default outfit. Look how much clothes Liu Kang had in his default outfit. Again, it makes sense to the story. He's also dead, that's why his skin looks like that, and he's at war, so this is his armor. He's the king of the Netherrealm, so this is the Netherrealm armor that he's wearing because he's ready for war. He's going into battle, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't have alternate costumes, which shows off, which is a little bit more classic. These are callbacks to like his earlier days when he used to fight with no shirt on. See, he has the shirts with no shirt on, the outfits with no shirt on. And these are callbacks to his earlier days, his earlier Mortal Kombat days, because this is how he was. He didn't have a shirt on his earlier days, but his default costume is fully clothed. Do I have a problem with that? No. If I want to play with a Liu Kang with no shirt on, I'll just unlock the Liu Kang with no shirt on. Simple as that. Same thing with, well, I can't say Kung Lao. Kung Lao's always had clothes on. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I need to really say about that. Like, this whole SJW crap is really a non-issue. It doesn't make any sense. Yes, their default clothes have more, the default outfits have more clothes on them, but it makes sense for a story aspect as to why they have more clothes on them. They're older, they're at war, they're not gonna go into a war where there's guns and bombs and stuff like that, dressed in thong and panties. It doesn't make any sense. So with that being said, if you like this video, smack that like button. If you hate it, smack that dislike button. If you want to talk more about Mortal Kombat and this whole women having too much clothes on crap, which is a non-issue, leave in the comments below, and remember, your life is a fantasy.